territories, Guinea, Angola and Mozambique, the two largest and richest lie between the South African bloc and the rest of Africa. They have modified the growing conflict between North and South. The Portuguese government, conservative, authoritarian and Catholic, was moulded during the long rule of Dr. Salazar. Just as he rejected democratic methods at home, Salazar refused self-determination to the empire. He has stated clearly, we will not sell, we will not cede, we will not surrender. We will not quit one fragment of our sovereignty. Portugal is among the poorest countries in Europe, known mainly for wine and cheap holidays. Ironically, this is partly why she still clings to her empire. The present Premier, Dr. Marcelo Caetano, admits this. Without Africa, he says, we will be a small nation. With Africa, we're a big power. Pride in an imperial past is mingled with more practical considerations. For the wealth of Angola and Mozambique are attracting massive foreign investment to help Portugal balance her own budget. But for a foreign audience, Portugal has other arguments. The United Nations has condemned her African policy, and in defense, she stresses a particular colonial concept, apparently the reverse of apartheid. She insists that Portuguese society is naturally multiracial, and that Portuguese rule benefits all races without distinction. Many Africans remain unconvinced. They point out that before the Wars of Liberation, Portugal did nothing for their welfare. Guinea held the world record for illiteracy at 99%. In Angola, 1 in every 2 babies died at birth. They argue that Portuguese law discriminates against Africans, and worst of all, allows forced labour to live on in new forms. No criticism is allowed. The press is heavily censored. Portugal has always suppressed opposition and even denied its existence. In Guinea, 50 dock workers were shot for striking in 1959. In 1960, 30 Angolans were killed on a protest march, and 500 Mozambicans were killed on a peaceful demonstration at Mueda. While Sharpeville became headline news, incidents like these in the Portuguese territories went unreported. Against this background, fighting broke out in Angola in 1961. Armed struggle began in Guinea in 1963 and in Mozambique in 1964. By using guerrilla tactics, the 3 nationalist armies have been able to force a much larger army onto the defensive. Mozambique was the last colony to get a National Liberation Party. In 1962, political exiles and underground resistance groups joined to form the Mozambique Liberation Front, Frelimo for short. The Mueda massacre had convinced most members that only war could bring them independence. They began to fight in 1964, and within months drove the Portuguese troops out of most of the 2 northern provinces. Now, the guerrilla army and a civilian population of over 1 million control an area about the size of England, ranging from the well-populated forests of Cabo Delgado to the scattered bush of this section of Nyassa. It takes 3 weeks hard marching to cross Nyassa province from north to south. While fighting to extend their territory, the guerrillas have to work hard to maintain their lines of supply and communication. Many small units divide the work between them, and the local people do what they can to help. The army is a wing of the political party, and soldiers regard themselves as armed civilians. The leaders are constantly on the move, visiting all the military bases and the scattered civilian settlements. They must listen to problems, discuss new policies, and coordinate the whole campaign.